Come on in.
Hello, I'm Dennis.
I'm Andrew.
And this is our Halloween handmade home in Queens, New York. I mean, we always wanted to go full out for Halloween, but we were always working part-time jobs, doing the side hustle. So about 3 years ago was the time that we can kind of focus on our crafty lumberjack business. And I think that's kind of when it happened.
Here's the thing. I don't know if Halloween is our favorite holiday. It's definitely a toss-up between Halloween and Christmas. I can't pick. It's Sophie's choice, really.
It really is.
I will say there is something really nice about decorating for Halloween. There's no rules for Halloween.
Yeah.
So I feel like decorating for Christmas, we want to be really polished and have everything really nice. Halloween, we can literally paint the walls with like black acrylic paint and water, which we did in our hallway. We can go all out.
Yes, and get away with anything, and it will look awesome. Just over the last 3 years, we've started new traditions here in our apartment where we always have a Halloween tree, and we also transform our hallway to an epic hallway room space. Yes, experience. I like that. I like
our
that.
first year we did a Twin Peaks.
Yes,
room.
the red room.
Yeah.
And last year we just kind of did this large goblin creature. This year we kind of just went with a creepy, eerie, haunted hotel style hallway.
Yeah.
This is fabric we got at a big box store. I think it was $8 for about 20 yards or something. We ended up distressing it with a little bit of watered down acrylic paint.
Here's our wood molding. We used vinyl tablecloths for this.
This is a painting that Andrew got, I think from home, right?
Yeah.
That just seemed to work with the vibe. These are our sconces we made here. This is from a dollar store. It was a plastic bowl, cost $1. We ended up making 2 out of 1. Cut it in half with a wood burning tool. Yeah. And then we have flickering battery operated candles in there.
We painted those as well.
Yep, of course, traditional cobwebs here on the wall. We added some details on our closet door here. We have a little maid sign. We made our door 43. It's a number that haunts me.
43.
Yes. I see it all the time when I pick up my phone. If I get a receipt from takeout or eating, it's always like 943. I don't know what it means, you tell me. We put our little bellhop here. We gave him a ring of keys and a little hat. This is actually an usher hat from our haunted horror movie theater tree from last year. We created this window. This actually was a handmade project as well. Those big canvas frames, we used that to turn it into a window. It has some acrylic sheets here that we splattered with paint.
Yes, we have a guest book for our guests to sign in. I will say we spend so much time working on the hallway that sometimes we're like, is it worth it?
Yeah,
like,
no one's gonna notice.
No one's
They're
gonna
just
notice.
walking through.
When people do walk through and they don't even notice, Dennis and I are like,
we get so mad.
it takes a long time to decorate with us.
Yes, and Andrew is very particular. Our tree that we have here in the back, it took about 2 months. Everything is handmade. And then meticulously put on the tree very specifically.
The first theme was this weird science laboratory theme, and then we did this classic horror movie theme last year, and this year we're doing a psychic fortune teller theme.
Yes. We have tarot cards that we purchased at the craft store. We made all of our little crystal balls here out of plastic Christmas ornaments with a little bit of alcohol ink, and then we put a skull in it. We lit them up. The tree came pre-lit with white Christmas lights, but we weren't feeling that, so we actually painted every single light on this tree with a Sharpie marker to make it purple.
We made these
Ouija
boards with vinyl lettering.
And balsa wood.
And then we, of course, decorated the bottom with candles. We created this spell book.
I think it came out really spectacular. And then we just kind of take the idea of the tree and spread it out, evolve it in the rest of the room. These are coffin wreaths that we made for HGTV Handmade. We love them so much.
When we make projects for Handmade, you might not know this, but we have to make multiples of things just so we know what we're making, and also if something needs to dry, we don't need to wait. So we'll end up a lot of times with like 2 or 3 finished products, and that's what happened with our coffin wreaths. So we had 2, and we just couldn't get rid of them because
we love them so much. They're so epic.
So Dennis had the idea to frame the couch with them, and I think it came out great.
And we have some staples here in the apartment that we always have. So like our zombie prom, Judy Garland, she's always hanging up.
Yes, our bookshelf is
Our
always
bookshelf
here
is
with
always
our
here, our tchotchkes.
I really like
the
our lab scientist skeleton. I think he's cute in our
Bernie
TV.
Sanders.
Yes, we named him Bernie Sanders.
For education.
Yes.
He was the mad scientist on the top of our tree. Now this year we have B. Arthur, who's on the top of our fortune teller tree.
Yes. He likes to name them.
Andrew always likes to put eyeballs in everything, so like skeletons, rats. It could be a picture of a skull, and Andrew's like, it needs eyes. So I think just kind of having that little detail kind of makes everything a little more whimsical, fun, and a little bit quirky.
Yeah, I would definitely say our vibe is definitely like classic Halloween with whimsy. We don't like to be too scared. We really like to decorate every room. Our bathroom we call the laboratory.
Oh, lavatory. You know what we mean.
Tory spelling.
Yes. We keep the kitchen very kitschy. We like a little kitschy kitchen.
Kitschy kitchen.
Kitschy kitchen. But it has kind of like vintage style cutouts and kind of blow molds. Just fun, light.
Orange. I love those vintage bright things.
Thanks for stopping by.
We've been dying to have you.
Happy Halloween.
Hey y'all, I'm Jennifer Perkins and welcome to my handmade home in Austin, Texas. There are 3 words that pretty much describe my entire aesthetic, which are colorful, kitschy, and crafty. I am a creative content designer. I am really known for my holiday decor. As you can see, Halloween and Christmas are my jam, but I swear sometimes my house looks normal and there's not a Christmas tree. So this is the first living area that you see when you first walk into my house. So besides like the obvious Halloween decorations, all of these things are in here year round. My green couch from Craigslist, and then the 2 really colorful chairs. They were my parents in the 70s, but I had them recovered. I have a mirror in the front room that I literally only keep because it like displays all the masks so beautifully. And the gateway drug for me when it comes to Halloween hoarding, and they're not really scary and you can get some with like crazy hair. I mean, what's not to love? They're so tacky. I collect outsider art and tramp art. So this is usually full of, you know, things I don't want my kids getting a hold of, my nicer collectibles. And then here are 2 of those paper mache pumpkins. Back in the olden days, like pumpkins weren't those like plastic ones that we get now, you know, they were paper mache. 3 I have are extra sentimental to me because they were my parents. This one actually has a bird's nest in it. Down here is a collection of, they're called noise makers, like this. You make noise with them. They used to give them out to trick-or-treaters. I personally would be very angry if someone gave one of my children one of these annoying toys. I'm just gonna put that on the record. I have always wanted a vintage aluminum tree, and this is like really my first Halloween to have one. I got them at a flea market. I think it looks pretty awesome. This is the formal living room, as it were. In August, I had this vision of like, I am gonna go pink Halloween. Over here are all these different like vintage cameras. On surface level, like cameras don't scream creepy, but you know, with enough of them in a tree, it's kind of like got a voyeuristic, creepy weirdness to it. You may not know it looking at it, but to me, I know there's like little sentimental touches. This one was my grandma's, like it still has the little K on it. And you know, of course, the tree topper is the Polaroid camera. I love to decorate like the trees differently, but use them as a way to display the vintage Halloween masks. As far as Christmas trees go, I have a lot. At any given time, I could have, like I say 100 Christmas trees up during the holidays, but they're not all like 9-foot tall trees. Like some of them are like the wee, you know, if we're literally counting all the trees. These are pictures that I found like at the thrift store. I have no idea who these children are. They are not family members. I mean, they are now. Like a skeleton, give that little dude some fangs. Kind of want to always have everything set up a little bit like a seek and find, where it's just like every time you look, it's like, oh, I didn't see that, you know. This is my kitchen, kind of the little breakfast nook A gauzy spider web and some honeycomb spiders work magic on any light fixture. Down here, I just put out some like Halloween plates. These are just vintage black glassware. I actually had a friend call me and was like, Jennifer, quick, get to this thrift store. There's chairs you need. My kids were like, Mommy, can we please go home? And I was like, no, we can't. I'm so glad I made them suffer. So I got this bar, which I love. I've never served a drink here, but it's a good piece of furniture. It holds all kinds of stuff like Halloween donuts or giant ears. A shadow box. Old horror movies on like Super 8, some dental molds. Why wouldn't you collect strange people's teeth? These guys, they're new, and I think they're actually like little luminaries, like you put a light in there because this is paper. But you know, instead this year I put some plants in there and these like glittery like witch hand. I never want it to be scary. I always want it to be fun. I always want it to be whimsical. And that's really how I want my house to be all the time. Even to me, sometimes I'll be like, well, I phoned it in. But you know, to anyone else, it's just like, no, you went overkill is what you did. Like my version of overkill is a little different than everybody else's. You are who you are, right? And so it's just like, I can't do it any other way than a way that's gonna match me and my, like, it's always been a lot. Me and the house, like from the get-go has always been like that. All right, everybody, thank you for watching and have a very happy Halloween.
I'm Nikk Alcaraz, and welcome to my handmade home in Burbank, California. I'm a food artist, a DIY artist, and a content creator. I make short-form videos on TikTok and Instagram, and in the videos, it's all peculiar things that are being created, whether it's DIY or food. I'm obsessed with dark and creepy things, and so that bleeds into my art, which bleeds into my life. And so my house is a direct reflection of what I love. So I want to start with this oil painting of a landscape. This was actually just $20, but it's really the inspiration for the whole living space. These are a lot of vintage frames, and they're from the thrift store. They don't cost much, but when you put them all together, it makes it look expensive looking. It's a big impact on the space. And in this living space, it's actually a mixture of like Victorian, fairy tale, and mid-century. What attracts me to this moody Victorian style is because I see it in a lot of horror movies, and I love horror movies. I love Halloween. Ever since I was a kid, I was just always attracted to things like that. Living in a space that someone like Dorian Gray would live in is really cool. When I moved in, this place had the renter's special, so all of the light switches were kind of painted over, and the windows kind of had that thick paint, and everything was boring renter's white color, and I wanted to change that as soon as possible, so I darkened everything. The living space and the dining space are connected, but with rugs, you can make everything feel separate. So this is the dining space, and here I love to entertain with my partner and our families. So one of my favorite things is this spiderweb lamp, which is a thrift store find. It was only $8. It's just amazing. It's just chef's kiss. So this is a quick thing that I put together, just a little peculiar tea time, I'd say. So here you would see that I put some marzipan maggots in this cake. Ladybug caprizes. These are just like an Oreo truffle. You know, I love doing all kinds of different types of art. So one thing that I've done is I crocheted this doily. The pattern's called Post-Mortem, and I just thought that was really cool, and it goes well with the whole tea thing. This really embodies a lot of the work I do. It's like Halloween 365 days of the year. And up here we have the ghost bell. Here I have another award. We have a little greenhouse section that we like to look at of plants and crystal balls. You will find a lot of magical things the closer you look. And one of my favorite ones are these hand tie backs for our curtains. Basically, they're just wooden hands that we stained and attached them to the wall. It's a subtle touch, but like I said, the closer you look, the weirder it gets. I have this little beetle that I found at a flea market, The Witches of Salem and the Magic Garden Fairy Tale. So one of my favorite things in this room is this magical orange lamp. that was given to me by my grandmother when I moved to Los Angeles. She's not with us anymore, but every time I light this candle, I feel like she's around. So I like to keep it in the room and light it during special times, especially her birthday or when I'm decorating for Halloween or any other holiday. A recurring theme in this place is the closer you look, the weirder it gets. So if you look closer into the plants, you'll find things like little eyeballs. Even in the fruit bowl, you'll find little eyeballs. And that's just like a thing that I like to put around the house just to remember that it's creepy 365 days of the year, and that's okay. When people walk in, I'd like them to feel like they've walked into another world, like a fantasy world, like an enchanted forest, or, like I said before, the halls of Dorian Gray's house or something. If I could describe my home in 3 words, it would be moody, magical, and creative. All right, that's it. Thank you for joining me in my peculiar home.